So why is self-forgiveness necessary? Many ask, why should I forgive myself? It's very simple. You're within a system where you stand in a relationship with the system and you are interconnected. You are one with the system. You are in fact one with the starvation, one with the suffering. No matter how far you try and remove yourself from it, because that removal in fact is only your dishonesty, you are in fact connected to the system and to what happens in this world. Every time you use money, every time you use the internet, every time you eat, every time you use power, electricity, water, everything you use that is coming from the system connects you to the system. And the more you deny the actual situation in the world, the greater your dishonesty and the greater your self-interest and greed for your own survival. And survival in essence is in fact greed. So you cannot stand apart from what's here. You are the very creator. The further away you are from the problems of the world, the greater is your participation in creating it, because you turn your back on what can be changed by removing yourself or placing between yourself and the problems in the world as much distance through relationships as possible, blaming other things while you are the real cause. Therefore, self-forgiveness is where you give yourself the power to actually stand up and correct the relationships of this world, so that a new system can come about where you take the direct responsibility for the outcome that happens in this world. Every child that's starved, you are directly responsible through indirect relationships. You are the very cause of it through your participation in the system. No matter whether you stand in light or love or have some religion which say to you, no, Jesus will save you, it doesn't matter. That's not the truth. That's your own illusion you create as your ego. And that's where you will hide from the responsibility. You will hide there because you fear what will happen if you start taking responsibility. You know there's going to be conflict. You know you are not going to be liked because you say, let's stop this. Let's bring about a world that's best for all. You know the outcome of your change, and therefore you fear change, and you will hide change on all kinds of energetic denominators like love and light and beautiful things, to not take responsibility, because if you have to take responsibility, the things you have you will lose. The things that you have given value to will no longer be the same. The relationships you have will change in your family, everywhere, in your workplace, in your participation in the world. Your relationship will change because you are no longer hiding in a string of relationships as far as possible from the problem. You are taking directive principle, you are taking responsibility, you stand up and you are participating to correct the relationships, so that all relationships between all parts in this oneness reality can become equal and what is best for all life. You know the consequence of not doing that, because eventually you will be held to book. You will be called upon to explain yourself, and that happens at death. It's not some far-off thing. It is at any given breath possible for you to be called upon to account of yourself and your life and why you did not stand up for what is best for all in life. Now, if you look at it from the perspective of how will it affect you by correcting your relationships, you'll find a fascinating thing. It'll remove fear, it'll remove guilt, it'll remove blame, it'll remove all the excuses you have, and in fact it becomes possible to have a life that is much better that most now have also to give it to everyone else, to actually make the Jesus message real by giving as you would like to receive. If you do not do self-forgiveness and you justify and claim that what is here is somehow part of some greater plan, please, you immediately are placing yourself in a position of being a brainwashed zombie, because you're saying what is here cannot change, and you are just the response to this. You have just been created in that particular way. You can't change. You cannot claim free choice. The choices you then make are all pre-programmed within the system just to create a feeling of happiness or a feeling of fulfillment. Those feelings aren't real because they cannot be existing every breath for everyone. They only exist because you have certain things that you have taken from others so that you can be in a better position. You are in fact the very evil of this world. You are in this world because you are evil. That is why you're here. If you were good, the world would not have looked this way. You would not have been hiding from your responsibility. I call on you to take responsibility, to not waste time, because every moment, every breath that you postpone this responsibility, there is a consequence that you will face. There is no way out from that. Ever wondered why you cannot see for real what is happening in the universe? Why is it that you're not willing to confront this world? There's one reason: fear, and because you can't be trusted with life. This world is the evidence of that you cannot be trusted with life. It's the evidence that in essence you are evil. The thoughts that you have in your mind and how you judge people and how you have nasty thoughts about people, that is the evidence of the real self. Join us at Destiny. We have the support to help you face this delusion, this evil that you have not even become, that you've always been. You've always lived in fear from your very first moment. There has been fear. There has been nothing else. And fear only exists as the opposite of love. And love in itself is just the opposite of fear. So without the one, the other doesn't exist. So by fear, you create love, because that's the way you hide from it. No love in this world is real, because its very existence is always dependent on its opposite. As long as you profess love, know one thing: you are in fact professing fear. You are in fact professing hate. Hate is to not take responsibility. Hate is to blame others for what happened in the world, because you're too shit scared to do something about it. You're too shit scared to take on the system of this world. And the system of this world is the result of the participants of this world. And you're a participant. Every time you do something in this world, you're doing it in the context with full acceptance of the system as it exists. No matter how you say, but that's not my intent. It is your intent. It's always been your intent to survive and to look after yourself only, and your family, and those that you claim you love. But you don't love them. You're only looking after them because you fear what's going to happen if they don't have the peculiar thing called money, through which needs can be fulfilled. Understand, every being here comes from the same source, which is the earth. And the collaboration between the earth and the sun and in the universe, how things move. You are responsible to take care of those things that cannot do it for themselves, like the plants and the animals that require from time to time support when there are droughts, when there are disease, things that they cannot do for themselves. You have been given more to work with because you have more responsibility. Why are you hiding? Why are you not taking responsibility? It's because you fear. You're shit scared because you're going to lose your illusion, that happy little bubble where you can have all kinds of thoughts about things, about people, all kinds of desires, and where you can deceive people and think that you're great and wonderful because you're able to deceive them. You're able to present yourself as something that you're not. Meantime, if you truly look at what is here and you look at the relationships that create this world, you will see you are connected to it. You are one with it. You are the very cause of it. Change the relationships and you change the world. It'll be tough because you've never been honest in your life before. Self-honesty is the toughest thing that exists. Because you have to face the things that you fear. You have to walk through the fear. You have to actually learn what it means to care. But you're too scared to care. You see, the S in the care is just a representation of the energy that takes you up and down. That energy isn't real because you create it through your mind, and it is where you create your illusion. That's where the fear exists. But you've made it real, even to the point where you've created machines and things in this world that are destructive, that are fearful, weapons, war, starvation, money. Money is a fearful thing because it's not equal for all. Join us at Destiny. We are here to support you. All we request is that you hear and apply what we show you, and you will prove to yourself that you can change. That's what it's about, bringing about a world that is best for all. Stop hiding. Stop having excuses. Stop looking for light in the darkness. That light isn't real. It is your illusion that you light up while you suck like a parasite on the physical body. You're not your body. Look at it. You're just in the mind. You have no clue how your body really functions. That's why you need a doctor. That's why you need hospitals. That's why you need all kinds of things to try and keep you alive, trying to prevent your death. Because you don't know what's going to happen at death. Well, let me explain to you. At death, you will face every thought you've ever had, every reaction, everything you've ever done. You will face it. You will not get away with anything. It's obvious. That's what you wish upon everyone as well. You wish upon them. Many times you say, you will pay for what you've done. Let me tell you, you will pay for what you've done. There is no way out. There is no forgiveness. Forgiveness is impossible because forgiveness would imply that when you embrace forgiveness that you have changed and you will no longer harm. But you don't do that. Self-forgiveness is the only way you will find the true self, who you really are. And that won't be a pretty face. It won't be beautiful. It'll be shocking, but it gives you the power to change it. It is the real power that exists, the power to change who you are into that which is part of the relationship and the system in this world. Changing the system so that it becomes that which is best for all life. There is nothing better than that. There is nothing more than that. It is the best answer that exists. It is the only answer that works for everyone. No other answer can work. Common sense. So stop the lies, stop your self-interest, stop the ego. You're going to have to walk with me whether you like it or not. And when you do get to know me, you'll be grateful. Make an effort. We're waiting for you.